Okay, so today we're going to do Module 4. Module 4 is a little different today. A few things are the same. Uh, this will include useful settings and applications on your iPad, and we'll specifically go into something in settings that we haven't previously had in this module. Let's go ahead and get started. The disclaimer reads, the Wilderness Technology Alliance DC Senior iPad program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual health, well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on the information in any applications or topics made by the Wilderness Technology Alliance, including, but not limited to, mobile and device applications and any other social media pages maintained by the Wilderness Technology Alliance DC Senior iPad program, its owners and presenters as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. Okay, how to rename yourself. So if you recently updated deleted and had to re-download your Zoom app, you may have run into this issue where now you're logging into Zoom and it says iPad now. That's all right. So go ahead and check by tapping on participants to see if that first name that shows up is your name, or does it say iPad, or I saw someone said google.com or Zoom user. Go ahead and check, and if it doesn't say your name, tap on it and tap rename. Okay. I'm just going to look down the participant list to see if we're still having that. Okay, so we got, okay, I see all the iPads on here disappearing. Great. All righty. Excellent. You all are all pros at that now anyways. All right. So how to virtually raise your hand. And Mr. Mickens has already set the example in that. You tap on more and then tap raise hand. Okay. Yep, just like that. I'm seeing a lot of hands go up now. Excellent. Okay. And what that does, it'll pop up at the top of my screen and I'll see that you have your hand raised. So thank you. Okay. And lastly, how to use the chat. So if you want to communicate via the chat, you'll also tap on more, tap chat, and then you can send messages to everyone or to someone individually. If you want to change who you're sending the message to, tap on where it says everyone. Thank you. And then, oh, hello, rather. And then tap on the person whose name tap on the name of the person who you want to chat with. All right. So here's what we're going to cover today. Settings in general, but we're going to specifically delve into a feature in settings, as well as FaceTime and iMessage, which if you have been on Module 4 before, you've likely seen the FaceTime and iMessage portions, but the settings portion is where it's somewhat of a new introduction. You may already use this feature, but we'll find out. In general, whenever you want to make a change to your iPad, adjust the setting, or update the iPad, then the Settings app is the place to go. You can easily find the Settings app by looking for this icon with a cog gear in the center. Okay, so your Settings icon is going to look like this picture here on the right. So when you open the Settings app, there's a list of shortcuts on the left, and they're labeled logically. So if you want to adjust how apps notify you, then you tap on the notification shortcut. Or if you want to connect to a Wi-Fi network, tap Wi-Fi. All right. And then the specific settings for that app will show up on the right once you tap on it. Okay. And you can also search for individual settings using the search bar. If you don't see the search bar, pull your finger downwards on the left-hand side in order to type in what you want to search for. Miss Dana, did you have a question? Okay. Oh, you were still raising your hand from the earlier.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't have a question. I'm good. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Good to hear your voice.
Nice to see you also.
Thank you. Okay. So let's see, okay. So for your Apple ID, in order to access your settings for your personal Apple ID, you'll tap on your name on the top left. That's where you can update your password, modify iCloud, iTunes, and device settings. Okay, so now we're going to go into what I've been talking up the whole time. There we are. Okay, so now I'm sharing my screen. Okay, here we go. So now I'm sharing my screen. And we're about to go over something in settings. Wait a second. Can y'all see my screen? Maybe someone unmute it or send me a chat if you can see my screen.
Yes, we see.
Yes.
Okay.
You're coming in loud and clear.
Okay, excellent. So everyone's alert. Excellent. I love it. So what I want to show you all is called Touch ID and Passcode, specifically the Touch ID. Now, some persons have already set up your a passcode on your iPad, which is great, but the Touch ID is also pretty great. Now, sometimes when you download apps or when you like this new Zoom update where you have to delete an app and sign in again, you have to keep typing in your long Apple ID password that has an uppercase letter, a lowercase, you know the credentials, right? Instead, you can enable Touch ID so that instead of having to type in your password or your passcode, your Apple allows you to use your unique fingerprint in order to set up your what's called Touch ID. And you can download apps. You can if you use Apple Pay, you can pay for things, but it's up to you. And I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, so I just put in my passcode through my iPad, and this is what we see. Right now, I do have a fingerprint in here. It's called Zion's pointer finger. So that's what I called it. So I know what finger I have saved here. And here's how it works. So if I wanted to add a fingerprint, let's say I didn't have any fingerprint saved here, I would tap on where it says add a fingerprint. And you can see here the things that you can use it for. Right now, I use it to unlock my iPad. I use it for Wallet and Apple Pay. I use it for iTunes in the App Store, so I don't have to type in my password every time I download an app. And password autofill. So if I have other saved passwords, like in Google or YouTube or social media, it can fill in my passwords for me if I've allowed it to do so, all with just my finger. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm gonna tap on add a fingerprint, and it gives me some instructions. It says, place your finger. Start by placing your finger on the top button. Yours will say, start by placing your finger on the home button, right? So what you will do is repeatedly place your finger on top of the home button. And I'm going to demonstrate that as well now. So when you get to this point, don't leave your finger down on there and say, well, it's not working. You have to place your finger on the home button and keep lifting so that it'll, the red lines will fill in. I'll show you now. Okay. You see, so my red lines are filling in. And so what that means is that, so someone could have your password or could find out that, but no one can replicate your fingerprint. Well, I'm sorry, you all might know something, that I don't. But to my knowledge, on your iPad and using it, you like a grandchild or someone, they can't just come and take over your iPad because it's your finger. Okay. Um, so now that I finished, it says capture all of your fingerprint. Keep going to capture the edges of your print. Okay, so it got the middle of my finger, but now it says, okay, keep going. So I'm gonna keep going. So it wants to get all the sides too. So if I place my finger and it's not directly in the middle, you'll still know it's me. Okay, Touch ID is ready. Your print can be used for unlocking your iPad. So I'll press continue, but now it just says finger 2. I'm going to change it to Zion's thumb. Even though it's not my thumb, it's actually the same finger. Okay. And there we are. So that's just something in settings that may be simpler. Of course, if you live alone and there's no chance of anyone accessing your iPad, or you're fine with typing in your password every time you download an app, that is absolutely fine. I just wanted to give you all another option, especially if you're someone who has to frequently reset their password, or they forget it, or fail to write it down. This is a simple way to just use your finger to download apps or unlock your iPad. So I wanted to show you all that. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
Oh yes, Miss Irvin.
Does everybody need a passcode? You don't have to always have a passcode, do you? If you have an Apple ID.
Nope, you don't need a passcode. Actually, even if you've made a passcode in the past, I have the option here on my screen to turn passcode off. So nope, you do not need a passcode. It's just a security measure. Some people have home health aides that come in their house, or maybe family members that might say, oh, an iPad laying around, I want to play games, I want to see what's on it, I want to go on the internet. And it's just a password to protect that information. But nope, not necessary at all.
And where do you
Okay.
put your passcode? Where you put it up where it has your ID up at the top there?
That's a good question. So if you would like to make a passcode, you would do so in the same location on the left-hand side of my screen where it says Touch ID and Passcode. See, today we just set up I set up a fingerprint, but in this same place, I could also set up a passcode.
Okay, but it says passcode off, so that means you just ignore that if you don't want to make a passcode.
Right. So right now mine is on. So if I tap on that, it would turn it off. And it would say, hey, your Apple and pay cards and keys will be removed because you're turning your passcode off. I can say turn off. Oh, no, it's asked for my Apple ID password. But yes, you have the option to turn it off. You have the option to turn it on. And if you've never seen this screen, or you likely don't have a passcode and you don't have to worry about it.
Okay, thank you.
No
It's
problem.
hard enough to keep up with passwords, it's very difficult to remember all of these, even if you write them down.
You're absolutely right. Usually I recommend that if a person does make a passcode, you can make it as same as your cell phone. If you have a cell phone password, or passcode, a 4-digit code or a 6-digit code, or some people just swipe, you can make it the same so that it's not something extra for you to remember. But
Okay,
that's completely understandable.
that's a good idea.
Let's see. I see another question. It says, where can you store? I'm not sure what you
I,
mean.
I was saying, where can you store your passwords? I heard the lady before saying, to write them down, but there's nowhere to save them, like on the computer.
There is, and while we're in settings, I'll show you. Hopefully, I don't think it's gonna show all my passwords, but anyway. So when I tapped on passwords on the left-hand side, it says Touch ID, which we just set up to view your saved passwords. If you don't have Touch ID, then it would ask you to type in your passcode to view your saved password. So a lot of good stuff. I have I'm not sure if it's blocking it out on your end, but Amazon, I have a lot of passwords saved in here. So, yep. But yes, there's a section
Where is
called
that?
passwords. So
Where
in
is it?
settings, on
In
the
settings.
left-hand side,
Mhm.
you'll see the word
Oh,
passwords
yeah.
that has a little key.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So yes, that's something else that you can use. And thank you for bringing that up. So, right. So there are a lot of features and settings that, you may have not explored or may have not thought about looking at, but if something comes up or if you find something you say, "Wait, I want us to have a lesson on that," or "I just want to touch on it briefly in class," you can send me an email and just ask, and I'll try to incorporate it in the training. Okay? Any more questions, you can put it in the chat. But in the meantime, I'm going to go back to the module. Hopefully that was helpful to some persons. And we're going to jump into FaceTime now.
Oh, can I ask a question before you move on?
Sure.
Sometimes, Zion, when I'm sending email, it doesn't autofill when I go to blind copy. And I was wondering why that happens, because these are names that I have in my contacts, but it does not autofill as it does when I have maybe just copy. But if I go to blind copy, it does not autofill.
I hadn't noticed that when I send emails on my iPad.
Yeah,
But
a problem. And so I have to go and look up the person's, email address, because it doesn't autofill, although I have them in my contacts.
let me see, because mine just autofilled when I went to BCC someone.
So is there something in settings that maybe is causing that to happen?
How many times have you seen that? Has it been one
Every
occasion
time.
or multiple? Okay.
Multiple times when I'm trying to send a blind copy.
Give me 1 second. I'm just testing that with different.
Yeah, it does not
emails.
autofill when I'm trying to send a blind copy.
Got it. Okay. I'm really not sure. I'll have to do research on that, Miss Urban.
Okay, all righty. Because
All
sometimes,
right.
I send out a text to my praise and worship team, and I send them blind copies, but they won't autofill. So I have to end up typing everybody's name in because it doesn't autofill.
Okay. Well, here's what I'll do. I'll do some research on that, and if I don't find anything that technically could be the cause of that, I'll schedule some time to hop on a call with you so you can just demonstrate that. You can demonstrate that with my email if you like, or and we can set that up just so I can see what exactly the problem could be. Okay.
Thank you so much. You have my email address. If you have an answer that, I don't think I've touched anything in settings that's causing that.
All right. Yeah, I doubt it. It's probably something technical, but we'll figure it out. All righty, and let me check. Excellent, and welcome, Miss Josephine. We have someone new on our Zoom today, so you all can send them a chat whenever you can and send warm welcomes. All right, So we're moving to making a FaceTime video call. FaceTime is free. With FaceTime, you can be with friends and family at any time and any place. It lets you be a part of the moment with crystal clear video and audio. Should be crystal clear, right? As long as the internet is working well. FaceTime works over both Wi-Fi or cellular connection and enables you to call another iPad, iPhone, or Mac. And it works like a phone call, but supports video and real-time visual effects. And Miss Ingram, I see you have your hand raised. You can go ahead and unmute.
I'm sorry. I have been working on this, and I did call last week to speak to Alex and someone else. I'm trying to reach my great grandson. He's 7 going on 70. And it keeps saying not in your contact. And this cannot be produced. And, you know, and I don't know what to do because he is in when I download all my grandkids, the one is at Jamaica here and wherever they are. And I can't not pull his name up because it said I need his phone number, email address. He don't have an email address. So what do I do?
Okay. Does he have a phone number?
Well, he don't have a cell phone. I have to use the house phone. So can I use that? The landline?
Oh no. So right. So that's what this slide shows. So you definitely can't FaceTime a landline phone.
Okay.
So your FaceTime app it'll allow you to see the other person
Right.
On their Apple device, or you can do a audio call with no video, but it also usually requires another Apple device.
Oh, okay. Okay. It have to be an Apple device, not an Android or nothing like that, or a tablet or nothing like that. Yes.
Right. But there is a way that Apple came out with that allows you to FaceTime an Android device. And it's usually in this module. I only cut it out for the other part. But let me put your name down, and can I email you the steps for that to FaceTime an Android device?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And if you can, if you can email me how to put in my other email addresses in my contact with my iPad, please.
Ooh, excellent. So I actually cover that on this upcoming Monday as well. But
Oh,
yes,
okay.
that's in the Monday module. Adding an email. You can add as
Email.
many emails you like. Yep.
Oh, okay. You doing that today?
No, it's this upcoming Monday.
Oh, okay. I just wait then. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. But I'll be sure to send FaceTiming an Android device. And
Okay.
there's actually a video that I'll send you so that you can see it as well. Okay.
So every contact I want to do in Zoom and FaceTime, I would have to have their phone number, name, email address, and all that information.
If the person has a Apple device, then you only need an email address or their number. If they
Okay.
have an Android device, you need their number.
Okay. Okay, I probably have to use his mom. Okay, I will come up with something.
Okay.
I like to be in special time with him. Okay. Thank you so very much. I just waited till you come up with different items.
But
Thank
thank you
you.
for sharing that. That's definitely a blessing to have a great, I'm not sure how many greats you said, but grandson.
Now I have
Okay.
6 grandkids, 13 great grand. So he's I'm just trying to do things that can benefit me since I'm retired. So
Excellent.
thank you
Well, I
so
hope the
very much.
iPad is helping.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. So there we go. Okay, so we're gonna actually watch a video now about FaceTime. Not FaceTiming in Android, but FaceTime nonetheless, after this slide. So making a FaceTime call. If you've never used FaceTime before, you will have to use your Apple ID to sign in first when you open the app. Then start to type the name, number, or Apple ID of someone you know. As you type, your iPad will try and guess the correct person if they are already saved in your contacts. Once they appear, tap on their name to call them. FaceTime calls are free. You just want to make sure the other person can see you, similar to Zoom. Make sure you're centered in the middle of the picture. It's easy to forget where the camera is pointing, so use the preview box to check your appearance. And for a more wider view, you can turn your iPad on its side. Turning your iPad on its side will put your home button on either the left or the right hand side, as opposed to the bottom, okay? All right, we're gonna watch this video now about FaceTime.
Has an iPhone. Okay, so one of the very first things you need to do is make your phone stationary. You know, you see people talking like this on their phone and they're just moving it all around and the background moves behind and it's really distracting to do that. Of course, you can do that if you need to, but if you don't need to, if you just want to talk to someone and have a smooth FaceTime call, the best thing to do is get a little gadget like this. It's just a little holder. I got it off Amazon. It's made by Anker. And you just set it down and you just prop your phone into it and you set it at the angle that you need it to be in order to see your face and to make the FaceTime call. But I can tell you, whenever I have FaceTime calls with people and the background is moving around because they're walking and they're talking and eating food or something like that, it is really distracting. So tip number one is just make your phone stationary. It'll make your FaceTime calls so much better. So the next thing I want to show you is how to make a FaceTime call from scratch. So in other words, you don't have anybody in your contacts. All you have is just a phone number and you want to call that person using FaceTime. It's really not that hard. The first thing you do is tap the FaceTime icon and then you tap the little plus and then you tap in their phone number. And you hit the return. And now you see you have a choice of audio or video, but we're going to make a video call. So we just do that. Hey, Lindsay.
Hi, Dad.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I was just doing this first part of the video here on how to make a FaceTime call from scratch. So we'll try something else in just a minute, but thanks for taking the call. All right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And then you just tap on the screen and hit the X to turn it off, and that's all there is to it. Okay, really the easiest way to make a FaceTime call is to use your contacts. I made a video on how to set up your contacts on your iPhone, and I'll include that in the description below. But if you do have your contacts set up and added to your iPhone, it's a quick way to make a FaceTime call. So all you do is tap on the contacts icon, type in who you want to call and find the person. We'll call my daughter again, and then you just hit the FaceTime icon again. Hey, Lindsay.
Hi, Dad.
I was just showing everybody how to make a FaceTime call using contacts. So they've got it, I think. All right, thanks again.
You're welcome.
Okay, see ya. Bye-bye. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to make a group FaceTime call. It's kind of fun to talk to more than one friend at a time or one family member at a time, and it's not really hard to do. First thing you do is tap on the FaceTime button, then you hit the plus button, and you can type in the phone number here if you want, but I'm just going to use my contacts because that's easier. So I'm going to type in my daughter's name, and I'll pull her up there, and then I'm going to type in my wife's name. Going to pull her there, and then we're going to tap on video to make the call.
Hello.
Hey Hey, we've got everybody.
Hey, that was good.
Well, hey, Lindsay. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Dad.
All right. I just wanted to show everybody how to make a group FaceTime call. Thanks for helping me out.
Okay.
Okay. See ya. Bye. And that's how you make a very simple, straightforward group FaceTime.
All right.
Oh, Zion,
Miss Irvin, yes?
it looked like he had to type their names in to make a group FaceTime call. Do you have to do that if they're already in your contacts?
Yes. You still have to type in their names to call them.
Wow.
But you don't have to type in their number. If they're saved in your contacts, once you start to type in their name, your iPad will try to guess which one of
Okay.
your contacts you're trying to call, and you can tap on it.
Okay, so the keyboard will come up so you can type.
Yes.
All right, because I've never really tried to do that.
Yep.
All right.
Keyboard will come up.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay.
Don, can you
and
do those steps again that on that group FaceTime? We're kind of fast, and I was trying to take notes as for how to do that group, or put it in the text. How what he just said about how to do the group contact, if you don't mind.
One moment.
Has an iPhone. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good with my iPhone, and I'll include that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to make a group FaceTime call. It's kind of fun to talk to more than one friend at a time or one family member at a time, and it's not really hard to do. First thing you do is tap on the FaceTime button, and you hit the plus button, and you can type in the phone number here if you want, but I'm just going to use my contacts because that's easier. So I'm going to type in my daughter's name, and I'll pull her up there, and then I'm going to type in my wife's name. I'm going to pull her there, and then we're going to tap on video to make the call.
Hello?
Hey,
Okay.
hey, we got every.
Okay.
Were you able to get it?
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
Yes,
All right.
I'm glad she asked that question.
Thank you.
Yes. No problem. Yep. So, yep. And it blurred out. So, but that's just because he was calling his real daughter and wife. But yes. Yep. So you'll type in one person's name, tap on their name, and then you can continue to type in another person's name after that. And that's how you can make a group FaceTime
Now,
call.
after you type their names in, do you have to hit something to? How will they know? Then you can go to another name. After you type one person's name in, what do you do?
Then you tap on the name. If they're in your contacts, their
And you
name should
tap on
pop
the
up.
name. Okay.
Mhm.
Tap on the names. These steps, they go so fast. And then when I try them, I'm missing something, and you wonder why it's not working. Because if you don't tap on the name after you type it, and maybe that's what's happening with the blind CCs. Maybe I need to tap on the name after I type it. I don't know.
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. It will not register. I didn't realize you weren't doing that. Okay, absolutely. So
No.
try once you type in the person's name, so they're in your contacts, and you tap on BCC, you're
Yeah.
typing in their name. The underneath what you're typing in, their name will come up, and you have to tap on that. You have to tap on their name in order for your mail to grab their email from contacts.
Well, nobody ever told me that,
Interesting. I'll have to go back over module 1 or touch base with Alexander on his email one,
Yeah, well,
on his email module.
he covered the first contact and then the second, but nobody ever said you have to tap on the name. And I've noticed that when I try to do BCC, because I send this message out every Friday, but it wouldn't, put the name up there, autofill. I had no idea I had to tap on the person's name.
Okay. Well, here's what we'll do. I'll move on from this slide so that we can move the module along, but right afterwards, after we get to iMessage and we finish that, I'm just going to briefly show you from my iPad what I mean, just so you can see it, okay?
I'd appreciate that so much.
No problem.
Has
Uh-oh.
an iPhone.
Let's see. Okay, so now we're moving on to messages. And then we're going to briefly circle back to email after messages. So you can send messages, photos, and even animated effects. iMessage is the messaging system service is built into the iPad operating system. So this app comes on your iPad. You don't have to download it. It just came with the iPad, okay? All right, so, and it allows you to send instant messages, text, pictures, video, contacts, location, as long as the device has Wi-Fi or access to a mobile connection. Okay, so let's show you what this looks like.
What is that? Blue?
Once the message, open the message app, which was the picture shown on the last screen. Then tap on the new message icon. The new message icon looks just like the new email icon. It's a little square with a pencil inside. Okay. Once you tap on that, a little box will pop up and it'll say to. In the to field, it'll look similar to on FaceTime. You'll type in the phone number of someone you know. If they're already in your contacts, you can type in their name and then tap on the name that comes up. If it comes up in blue, and this is important, if it comes up in blue, then you can text that person because they have an Apple device. If it's not coming up in blue, then if you try to send a message, it will likely say not delivered, because iMessage only allows you to send messages to persons with another Apple device. So, one moment, I'm just going to pull it up on mine so I can specifically say what color it shows up in. It'll come up grayed out. If someone's number comes up grayed out, or their name comes up grayed out or in green, it's not going to allow.
Up in red.
Okay. So on your iPad, it comes up in red on iMessage?
Uh-huh. If it's not deliverable, it comes up in red or green, sometimes green.
Okay, I'm referring to in the to section, not once you've gone and tried to send a message.
Yeah, that's right, in the to section.
Okay. Okay, so green, grayed out, or red. You'll know that you can send it to a person if you see blue, okay? All right. Ms. Brown, did you still have a question?
Yes. I know how to do what you're talking about in terms of, but here's my issue. Like when I'm trying to do to family, I take my time and hit plus, 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 and then I have everybody's name, and then I know. How can I create a group so I don't have to do that?
And when you say that, oh, absolutely. And while we're on the subject,
like he had those two, his wife and his daughter, so that you don't have to put that in next time. You could hit something that says family, and wife and daughter will come up.
Right. Oh, no, because if you type in, so it does still have to be individual contacts, but you can make a group chat by in the to section, adding in each person individually and then sending the message all to them. Once you've made the group chat, though, it'll save. It'll
How
save.
do I save it?
Once you send a message to a group, it
Uh-huh.
automatically saves. It will come up on the left-hand side. So do you see this picture on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. It's a little small, but the very first message on here is actually a group chat with 3 people.
Right.
So it has a few little pictures inside this little bubble.
Right.
It says Stephanie and plus a 407 number.
Okay,
And
so I would tap on that. But see, when I do that, then the old message comes up.
right, you can keep sending messages to that group.
Okay, it'll be like a thread.
Exactly, it creates
Okay,
a thread. So what? Yep. Once you sent a message to one group, it creates a thread on the left-hand side of your messages, and you can keep sending text to that group.
Yeah,
That's
but
an
it got
excellent question.
kind of long. Okay, I got it now in terms of processing. Let me lower my hand. Okay.
Good. Excellent.
All right,
All
thank you.
right. No problem. Okay. So once you've entered the information, tapped on their name, you can go down to the iMessage field, which is also the text box or text entry field. Type in your message and click send. All right, and we're going to watch a video on this as well.
Let me show you how to compose a new message. So if you tap on the messages icon and you go up here and you tap on the little square with a pencil in it, that'll let you do a new text message, and you type in the name of the person you want to text. Now, if you don't have them in your contacts list, you'll need to type in either their email address or their phone number. The Messages app needs to know where to send it. But in this case, I'm going to send a text to my wife. So I'm just going to type in her name. Right there it is. And I'm going to text a message and say, how is our grandson doing? And there I've composed a new message. And to send that message to her, all I have to do is tap the little green arrow like that. And now it's off. And if you'll notice, if you can see this on camera, it says delivered. That means she received that text message. Now, the next thing I want to show you how to do is how to delete a text message. And if you have a whole bunch of text messages over here in the left-hand column, you can just take your finger and slide over until you see the little garbage can and tap on it and delete it. And that deletes the text message. Now, I'm not going to delete this because I want to show you something else. But that's how you also delete a text message. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is show you how to pin favorites. You may have a whole list of people you've texted in your Messages app, and you have to scroll through it to find who you're looking for. But if you have family that maybe or friends that you text regularly, you can just pin their names to the top and tap on their name, and everything will come up for you automatically. Let me show you how to do that. So here my daughter Lindsay has sent me a text. I had sent her a text asking her if she was having a good day, and she said, I am. Are you? And I'm going to type back. I'll respond quickly and say yes. So now she's got that. So now if I want to pin Lindsay to the top, it's very simple. I just take it and scroll over until I see pin, and then I tap on the pin, and now she's right there. And I can do the same thing with my wife. I can scroll over and tap it. So now if I want to look at text from my wife, I just tap her name, and if I want to look at text from Lindsay, I just tap her name. And you can add up to, I think it's 9 people you can pin on the Apple Messages app. So you can put your 9 best friends right up there. It's kind of like speed dial for messages. You know, the Messages app on the iPad is just a great way to communicate with family and friends. And while you're probably most familiar using the telephone to communicate, there are a lot of scenarios that texting just makes the most sense.
Excellent. So, being able to pin messages, you can pin up to 9 persons. There we go. Okay, so this closes out the module, but we're not finished yet. Just to review, if you want to email the help desk, you can do so at helpdesk@wildtech.org or call 202-800-6868. Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Derek's on help desk right now. Well, actually, help desk just closed about 17 minutes ago, but from 11 to 2, Derek's helping out with help desk. So you can utilize that. And this concludes module 4. I'm going to move over to my iPad now so that I can share my screen, and we're going to look at the email briefly. Okay.
Ryan, can I ask a quick question? He said you can put in a person's email address or phone number and to send them a message. If I put an email address into someone who has an Android, would they get that message?
Nope. He should have said Apple ID.
Okay, or a phone number. I can put the phone number because my son has a phone number, but he has an Android. So I cannot send him a message from my iPad.
Right. That would be, yep, that's correct. But if he has a Apple device, he would have, when the man said email address, he meant Apple ID. So if a person has a iPad, you can put in their email address, but if they have a Android, that won't work.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So I'm just gonna send an email to myself. Oh, I'm gonna stop the recording.